right, here we are in the house with the nettle. Look at all this beautiful nettle harvest. It helps to have a sharp pair of scissors when you're cutting the nettle. Let's put the scissors up here on the counter, eh, Monica Jean? Oh, there's another pair, huh? Got those? Yeah, get those scissors. That's great. Okay. So we don't want to put the scissors in the soup, do we? And there's another pair of scissors, huh? You see them? There we go. Okay. And let's see how much nettle we actually got. A lot.
Here's some more nettle.
There is some more nettle right there, isn't there?
Here's Grandma.
Okay, this looks like about 8 ounces of nettle right there. And we could, that would be enough for 8 kind of smallish servings. I think we're going to have a lot of nettle here. And this is about another 8 ounces.
Here's another one.
There's another one. So here's our first pound of nettle. Usually in the spring, the nettle is so small that we don't have to worry about cutting it. But this nettle is already so large that I'm just going to cut through it a little bit so that as it cooks, it will wind up in bite-sized pieces. And as I said, usually at this time of the year, the nettle that we're harvesting is so small that we don't have to do this. But today, we're going to make it a little bit smaller so that it cooks better and is easier to eat in the soup. And yes, if you're thinking I'm getting stung a little, I am getting stung here and there.
Smells really good.
Doesn't it? Oh, that umami smell. But again, I think, hey, that's great. I'm never going to get arthritis in my hands because I work so much with nettle. Okay, there's our first pound.
I saw you jumping.
Here's another one.
Is that your
There's
water?
Another one. There's the water.
Wow,
It's
that's
not
a nice
quite
big
ready.
pot of water.
And now, what do we have here? We have not quite 8 ounces of nettle in that basket. So we'll take some of these nice little nettles there. And now we have just a little more. It's, you know, I'm only measuring it so that I know how much nettle there is. So this is now 1.5 pounds of nettles, or about 24 ounces of nettle. And I have 24 cups of water, so that's 1 ounce
Here's
of
another
nettle.
one.
Great! Per cup of water, and we can put more in. I find it's a good soup right up to 2 ounces per cup. So let's get another 1/2 pound of nettle here. There's 8 ounces.
We need a house.
Yeah, I do. I really appreciate your help, Monica Jean. Thank you.
Here's another one.
Okay, another one. Good. And one more. A nice big basket of nettle here. All right. And there's another 8 ounces of nettle. So we had 1.5 pounds. And now we have another pound. And not quite a half. Yeah, yes. And again, this is not important. If you don't have a scale, it's okay, because now you can kind of get an idea just from the volume of how much it is. This is soup, and we can play around with it. Add a little more nettle, add a little less nettle. Cut the nettle, leave the nettle whole. See what it is that you like. There's just no way to make bad nettle soup. And once our water has gotten to a boil, almost, then we will put our nettle into the water. I'm going to make a really simple nettle soup today, and it is literally going to be nettle and water. I'm not even going to put any salt in. If we put salt in right now at the beginning, we'll actually get a little more minerals out of the nettle. But I like people, for our first nettle soups of the spring, to really be able to taste the nettle. As the year goes on, I get a little fancier. You could put shiitake mushrooms in. You could put wild leeks in. Onions, garlic. You can put potatoes, carrots, all kinds of things. You can make it a soup with nettle instead of just nettle soup. But today we're just making nettle soup. Simple, plain. While away my time while the water is coming up to a boil, cutting my nettle. And I just want to show you that my hand is not being stung. Like you might think, my gosh, the woman is handling that nettle barehanded. Her fingers are going to be all like blistered. No, they're not. They're tingling. I'm not going to lie to you, they're tingling. I feel it. There's definitely some going on here. But not like the kind of sting that you get that makes you go, ah! All right, it's just, a kind of, I could even call it a kind sting. Okay, is that one actually?
There's nothing in there.
Nothing in there. I know Michael was filling up olive oil last night.
I don't know what I knocked over, something, but
It's all right. There's a bunch of stuff down there.
actually I think it's this.
Yes.
Right into the trash can.
Right into the trash. You want to sit right there?
Is that water? Is that ready?
Let's see. Is our water boiling yet? Ooh, it's very, very close.
Keep the lid on and it'll be boiling in a moment.
And so what I'm cutting is not the nettle leaves, but the nettle stalks. Right, because think about this in the soup. This would be a little hard to eat, just like if you threw a whole stalk of celery in your soup, right? So we're just going to cut it down a little bit to make it bite-sized. I'm always kind of annoyed when I have to eat something that doesn't fit on my spoon or my fork. Like when I go to a fancy restaurant and the salad is huge leaves, and I think, how am I supposed to get this in my mouth without getting salad dressing all over my nice silk blouse?
Use the knife they
Use
provide.
the knife.
Poor mommy.
Poor mommy. It's like, couldn't you just cut my salad for me instead
Not
of
in a
making
fancy
me cut it?
restaurant.
Not in a fancy restaurant. They're not going to cut it for you.
No.
So obviously this isn't a fancy restaurant. I'm cutting your nettle for you. What can I say?
There you go.
I'm making it easy for you.
Not a fancy restaurant. Wise Woman
It's
Center.
the Wise Woman Center, but
Don't expect a white tablecloth.
Nope. But at least we'll keep the geese away from you while you eat.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
As if they'd come.
Guarantee a goose-free space for eating. They are really in their spring frenzy.
They're wonderful.
They are wonderful. How are we doing over here? We've got bubbles on the bottom. That means bubbles coming to the top soon.
All right.
Start putting our nettle into our bubbling water here. Getting down to the uncut part. We can tell.
Yeah. Remind us again of the nutrients on this item.
Nettles are very rich in protein. They're very high in chlorophyll. They're loaded with minerals, especially calcium and magnesium. They're a really excellent source of B vitamins. They are, because of the carotenes, a source of provitamin A. And that's really critically important. What we're finding is that women who eat dark leafy greens and things that have provitamin A in them are far less likely to have broken bones than women who take vitamin A supplements. We've actually even been able to quantify it. And women who take vitamin A supplements, or even supplements of beta-carotene, are about 47% more likely to break a bone than women who are getting their vitamin A from food, from plants like stinging nettle. So good amount of vitamin A, good amount of B vitamins. There's even a kind of vitamin D in nettle, although it's not very well absorbed or utilized.